We were on a break. You can't be mad, she said after sleeping with her ex. So I took a break from her entire existence. Now I'm engaged, and she's still telling people I was the one who got away. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. When I think back on it now, I can't pinpoint the exact moment Sophie started slipping away. It wasn't one big argument or betrayal at first. It was small, quiet changes. The kind you only notice once they've piled up high enough to suffocate you. We'd been together for 2 years. Sophie and I met through mutual friends, back when everything between us felt easy. She was warm, funny, full of life. She dragged me to art shows I didn't understand, late-night drives with no destination, random weekend getaways. I grounded her. She pulled me out of my routine. For a while, that balance worked. Then, around month 18, things started to tilt. Sophie got promoted at her marketing job and started spending more time at networking events. At first, I was proud. She was ambitious and charming. People naturally liked her. But soon, networking became an excuse for everything. Staying out late, ignoring my texts, canceling plans last minute. I wasn't suspicious right away. I knew what it meant to be busy. I worked in IT, long hours, sometimes late nights on call. But the energy between us changed. She got impatient when I asked simple questions, defensive about her phone, distant when I tried to talk. Then came the nostalgia, the kind that felt like poison wrapped in a smile. She started mentioning Ryan again. Her ex, the one she swore was just a part of her past. I ran into Ryan at a conference today, she said one night, casually, like she was mentioning the weather. It was weird, but we're cool now. I didn't say much. Just nodded, though my stomach tightened. Over the next few weeks, his name started popping up more and more. Ryan sent me this funny meme. Ryan says he might move back to town. Ryan's actually not that bad of a guy once you forgive the past. I tried to be reasonable. I told myself not to overthink it. But one evening, I walked into the living room and saw her smiling down at her phone. That quiet, private kind of smile. When I asked what was funny, she just locked her screen and said, "Nothing important." That was the moment something inside me started to die. Still, I kept trying. I cooked dinner after late shifts. I asked about her day. I bought tickets to that art exhibit she mentioned weeks ago. But she seemed distracted, annoyed even, when I showed up for her. One night, over dinner, I finally asked what was going on. "You've been somewhere else lately," I said quietly. "You barely look at me when we're together." She sighed like I'd just asked her to solve a math problem. "Ethan, not everything's about you." I didn't say it was. I replied, "I'm just trying to understand what changed." "God, you're so serious all the time," she muttered, pushing her food around. "You make everything heavy." Maybe that's the problem. Maybe we're just not in sync right now. I set my fork down, trying to stay calm. "So what are you saying?" She leaned back, folded her arms, and said it like it was nothing. "Maybe we just need a break." I blinked. "A break?" "Yeah," she said. "Just some space. I can't breathe in this routine anymore. I feel like I'm living the same day over and over again." I kept my voice even. "So, you're saying we take some time apart? To figure things out?" She shrugged. "I guess. Don't make it a big deal." I nodded slowly, though every part of me wanted to argue. "All right, if that's what you need." "Thank you," she said, relieved, almost happy. That night, when I left her apartment, I didn't realize I was closing a chapter for good. I thought we were cooling off. That space might actually help. I told myself she just needed time to miss me. But the truth was, Sophie didn't want space. She wanted freedom, and she already knew what she was going to do with it. The first week after Sophie said she wanted a break, I tried to treat it like a temporary reset, not a breakup. I kept busy with work, went to the gym, caught up with a few old friends I'd neglected. I didn't text her, and she didn't text me. It was strange, but I told myself space could be good. By week 2, though, the silence started to feel less like space and more like distance. The kind that doesn't close itself. Her social media told me more than her words ever did. She started posting pictures again, dressed up, out at rooftop bars, laughing with people I didn't recognize. I didn't see Ryan in the photos, but something about her captions, "Some nights remind you who you are," made my stomach twist. I still didn't reach out. I wasn't going to chase her. Then, one Friday evening, I got a text from Megan, a mutual friend who'd always been pretty neutral between us. Megan, hey, I don't want to get in the middle of anything, but are you and Sophie still together? Me, we're on a break, I guess. What? Megan, you should probably know she's been seeing Ryan. They were out together last weekend, holding hands, kissing. People from her work saw them. I just stared at my phone for a minute. Not angry, not shocked, just empty. I waited until the next day before I said anything. I didn't want to confront her over text. I drove to her apartment, the same one where we'd spent countless lazy Sundays, and knocked on the door. She opened it wearing a loose sweatshirt, hair up in a messy bun, like nothing had happened. Ethan? Wow. You could have called, she said, half smiling. I didn't think this was a conversation for text, I said. She crossed her arms, already defensive. Okay, what's this about? I heard you've been seeing Ryan again. Her face froze for a second, then relaxed into that dismissive smirk she always used when she didn't want to take responsibility. Seriously? You're listening to gossip now. So it's not true. She shrugged. I mean, we've hung out a couple times. But Ethan, we were on a break. You can't be mad about that. My jaw tightened. You said you needed space, not a replacement. Oh, come on, she scoffed. You're making it sound like I cheated. We weren't together, technically. And honestly, Ryan just understands me in ways you never did. That one stung. Not because I believed it, but because she wanted it to. So, you and I were over the second you said you wanted space? I asked quietly. She rolled her eyes. Don't twist things. It's not that deep, Ethan. We were figuring things out. And Ryan was there for me when you weren't. I wasn't there because you asked me not to be, I said calmly. She sighed, annoyed. God, this is exactly what I mean. You always overthink everything. It's like you need everything labeled, defined, perfect. Life doesn't work that way. I just stood there, letting her dig her own hole. When she realized I wasn't fighting back, she tried to soften her tone. Look, I didn't plan for anything to happen, okay? We just talked, and one thing led to another. It didn't mean anything. I nodded slowly. It meant enough for you to hide it. Don't act like you're some saint, she snapped. You probably talked to other girls too. I didn't, I said, because I thought we were worth waiting for. Her expression faltered, just for a second. Then she smirked again, defensive to the end. You're overreacting. It's not like I'm moving in with him. That was the moment something inside me flipped from hurt to clarity. I took a breath, steady and quiet. No worries, Sophie. Take all the space you need. Just don't expect to find me in it when you're done. She blinked, thrown off. What does that mean? It means I'm done waiting, I said, turning for the door. Ethan, don't be dramatic. But I was already walking down the hallway. I didn't slam the door, didn't yell, didn't look back. I just left. That night, I packed up the few things I still had at her place. My charger, a jacket, a photo frame she never noticed was missing, and loaded them into my car. I didn't text her to say goodbye. I didn't need to. She'd already made it clear what we were, a placeholder between her impulses. And I was finally done being the steady ground she kept walking over to chase storms. The first few days after I walked out of Sophie's apartment were strangely calm. No yelling, no closure talk, no we can fix this. Just silence. I thought it would hurt more, but it didn't. It was like I'd been holding my breath for months and finally exhaled. Still, I kept replaying that conversation in my head. The way she said, it didn't mean anything. The way she deflected, minimized, twisted everything into my fault. I realized that was how every argument went. She always came out clean, and I was always too sensitive, or too controlling, or too much. It was never about what she did, it was about how I reacted. And for the first time, I wasn't reacting. I started focusing on myself again. Going to the gym became routine, not distraction. I ate better, slept better, even started hanging out with coworkers outside of work, something I hadn't done in years because Sophie always complained that I didn't make enough time for her. It was like rediscovering who I was before her. Meanwhile, she tried to keep up the illusion online. More pictures, more fake laugh smiles. A post with the caption, "Sometimes things fall apart, so better things can come together." That one almost made me laugh. But the mask started cracking fast. By the third week, Megan texted me again. Megan, not my business, but Sophie and Ryan are already fighting. Loudly. At a bar. About you. I didn't reply. I didn't need to know the details. A few days later, Sophie texted me for the first time since the confrontation. Sophie, hey, I just wanted to check in. How are you? I stared at it for a while before replying me. I'm good. You? She responded instantly. Sophie, I've been better. Things have been complicated. I didn't reply. A minute later, another message came through. Sophie, can we maybe talk? Not about us. Just talk. That was such a Sophie move. Not about us, meaning exactly about us. I didn't answer. For a week, she kept trying. Random texts at night. A few funny memes she knew I'd like. A photo of our old cat, which she still had, with the caption, "He misses you." I ignored them all. It wasn't anger anymore. It was peace. I just didn't want anything to do with her chaos. Then one Sunday morning, I saw her outside my apartment building. She was leaning on her car, sunglasses on, pretending to scroll through her phone. I almost laughed at how predictable she was. When she saw me, she straightened up quickly. Ethan, hey. I didn't say anything, just waited. She took off her glasses, and for the first time, she looked unsure. I was in the area. Thought I'd stop by. I nodded. Okay. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. For everything. Okay, I said again. That seemed to bother her. That's it. What do you want me to say? I don't know, she said, voice cracking a little. I miss you. And I hate how things ended. Things didn't end, I said calmly. You ended them. I just accepted it. She looked down. Ryan and I, we're not talking anymore. It was a mistake. I see that now. I almost pitted her. Almost. Sophie, I said, you didn't make a mistake. You made a choice. You chose him. You chose to lie, to test me, to see if I'd wait while you figured yourself out. And now you're just upset that your choice didn't pay off. Her eyes watered. That's not fair. It's completely fair, I said. You wanted space, you filled it with someone else, and now you're alone. That's what space gets you. She tried to reach for me, but I stepped back. Ethan, please. I just want to talk. I messed up, I know that. I don't want to lose you completely. You already did, I said quietly. And I walked past her, back inside my building. She didn't follow. That was the last time I saw her in person. Over the next few months, life just moved on. I stopped checking her social media, deleted our photos, stopped caring about who she was with or what she was doing. By the time she realized I wasn't coming back, I'd already built something better: peace, clarity, self-respect. And the irony? She'd been chasing freedom the whole time, only to find out she was the one trapped by her own indecision. I just stopped being part of it. 3 months passed. By then, Sophie was just a distant memory, a lesson, not a wound. I'd thrown myself into work, landed a promotion, and started managing a small team. The irony wasn't lost on me. The same job she mocked for being too stable became the very thing that set me free. I wasn't dating anyone yet, but for the first time in years, I didn't feel lonely. My apartment was quiet, organized, peaceful. I could leave my shoes by the door without someone rolling their eyes about messy habits. Life just felt clean. Then, one afternoon, Megan called again. Megan, hey, not trying to stir the pot, but you might want to know what's going on with Sophie. I sighed. Megan, I really don't. Megan, I know, but it's kind of bad. She and Ryan broke up. He cheated on her with someone from the gym. Then she got into an argument with her manager at work and quit. Now she's posting cryptic stuff online about people using her. I paused. That tracks. Megan, she's been asking around about you. I think she regrets everything. I laughed quietly. Regret doesn't mean change. Still, I couldn't help checking her Instagram that night, for the first time in months. It was like watching a slow-motion car crash. The confident, smug version of Sophie was gone. Her posts were different now, long captions about starting over, learning to love yourself again, and trusting the universe. Translation: rock bottom. The final straw came a week later, when she texted me again. Sophie, hey, I know it's been a while. I just wanted to say I really miss you. I was stupid. I threw away something real. I didn't reply. 2 days later, Sophie, please, Ethan. I know I hurt you, but I've changed. I've been doing therapy, journaling, working on myself. I just want a chance to show you. Nothing. Then came the long one. Sophie, you always said I'd regret losing you, and you were right. I thought I needed excitement, but all I found was chaos. You were the only person who ever made me feel safe. I see that now. I'd give anything to go back. For a moment, I sat there rereading it. Not because I missed her, but because I realized how differently I felt now. There was no anger, no longing, no ache. Just a quiet detachment. She finally said everything I used to beg to hear, but now, it meant nothing. I left the message unread. A few weeks later, I got an email. Professional this time. Subject, "Hey stranger, smiley face." From sophie.benson.work@gmail.com. I opened it out of curiosity. Sophie, hey. I heard from Megan that your company is hiring a marketing coordinator. I know this is awkward, but I'm applying. I hope there aren't any hard feelings. It would be nice to see you again. I stared at the screen for a good minute, half amused, half stunned. Of all places, she wanted to work with me. When HR brought her name up during interviews, I didn't say a word. I didn't need to. Her resume wasn't bad, but she had a reputation now. High turnover, dramatic exits. She didn't even make the shortlist. Later that week, she texted again, "Sophie, I didn't get it. Guess that's karma, huh?" Me? Maybe it's just life catching up. She replied, "You're still cold." I typed back, "Me? No, just done." That was the end of it. Or at least, I thought it was. A month later, I ran into her at a mutual friend's birthday party. She looked smaller somehow. Same sharp eyes, same perfect hair, but the energy was gone. She forced a smile when she saw me. "Ethan, wow, you look good." "Thanks," I said, nodding politely. "I've seen your work updates." "You're killing it." "I'm doing all right." She took a sip of her drink, hesitated. "You're not seeing anyone, are you?" "No." Her eyes lit up. "Then maybe we could." I stopped her. "No, Sophie. We couldn't." She blinked. "You don't even want to talk about it?" "There's nothing to talk about," I said calmly. "You made your choice. I accepted it. And now I'm living with peace. I'm not going to trade that for déjà vu." Her smile cracked. "So that's it. After everything we had." I nodded. "That's it." For the rest of the night, I barely noticed her. She lingered nearby, watching me laugh with friends, probably realizing for the first time that I was completely out of her orbit. That's when it hit me. I didn't need revenge or closure. Watching her realize she'd lost all power over me was the real ending. I'd moved on. She hadn't. And nothing I could ever say would sting more than that simple truth. After that birthday party, I thought Sophie would finally take the hint and move on. But I underestimated how far she'd fallen, and how much she hated losing control. At first, it was small things. A random, "Hey, remember this?" text with a photo of our old vacation. Then a "just checking in, hope you're doing okay." All ignored. Then it turned into calls, late night, missed, then voicemails I didn't listen to. Then mutual friends started mentioning her name again. "Sophie's been asking if you're seeing someone. She told people you two might get back together. She said you've been cold, but that you still care." I just smiled. She can say whatever helps her sleep. Then came the real humiliation, not for me, but for her. My company hosted a networking event downtown. Nothing fancy, just drinks, music, and small talk with clients. It was one of those nights where everyone was in their best mood, shaking hands and pretending to care about synergy and brand growth. I was talking with a client when I saw her. Sophie. She'd shown up with Megan, who worked at another firm that was attending. I could see the exact moment she spotted me. Her face froze, then brightened in that fake, "I'm totally fine" kind of way. She approached with her drink half full and confidence half faked. "Ethan," she said, smiling too wide. "Fancy seeing you here." I nodded politely. Sophie. Megan, bless her, looked like she wanted to vanish. "I'll, go say hi to someone," she mumbled and left us. Sophie looked me up and down, clearly taking in my suit, the name badge with project lead under my name, the easy conversation I'd just been having with our clients. "You look good," she said finally. "So do you?" I lied. She gave a little laugh, the kind that used to get her whatever she wanted. "I've been keeping busy. Working freelance now. Trying to get back on track." I nodded. "Good for you." She tilted her head. "You don't make this easy, you know." "Make what easy?" "Talking to you. I'm not sure we have much to talk about." Her smile faltered. "I know I messed up, okay? I'm not denying that. But I thought maybe we could start fresh. Just coffee. No expectations." I looked at her for a long second. "Sophie, I don't hate you. But I also don't have any reason to see you again." I'm not angry. I'm just done. Her eyes flickered. You say that like it's that simple. It is. She laughed under her breath, but it wasn't confident this time. It was brittle. You can't just pretend we never existed. I'm not pretending. I just stopped living in the past. She stepped closer. You used to love me. I did, I said evenly. Until you made sure I couldn't. That landed like a brick. She froze, blinking fast. Then the mask cracked completely. You think you're better than me now? She snapped. Just because you got a promotion and grew a beard? I stayed silent. You think walking away makes you strong? You're just cold, Ethan. You've always been cold. I wasn't cold, I said quietly. I was patient, and you mistook patience for weakness. That was it. Her face twisted, embarrassment, anger, regret all mixing together. People nearby had started glancing over. She realized it too, because she straightened up and forced a laugh, pretending nothing happened. Whatever, she said, shrugging like it didn't sting. You'll regret this someday. Maybe, I said. But not today. And I walked away. The rest of the night, I didn't look back once. But apparently, she didn't let it go. Megan told me later that Sophie broke down crying in the bathroom after I left. She'd been drinking, telling anyone who would listen that Ethan's changed, and he's not the same guy anymore. That part was true. I wasn't the same guy. I was the version of myself I'd been before she chipped away at my confidence, before she made me feel small to make herself feel big. Sophie wasn't facing karma because I wanted her to. She was facing it because she finally had to live without the version of me who absorbed all her chaos. And without me, her world didn't hold up. After that event, I didn't expect to ever hear from Sophie again. But life has a way of giving people one last chance to embarrass themselves. It happened about 6 months later. By then, my life looked completely different. The promotion had turned into a management role, and I'd finally taken a vacation, my first real one in years. I'd built a small circle of genuine friends, and I was mentoring 2 younger employees who reminded me of myself before Sophie drained the life out of me. Then one morning, I got an email. Subject, please read this. I promise it's the last time. From Sophie. For a second, I debated deleting it. But curiosity won. Sophie, I know I've reached out before, and I know I've made a fool of myself. I need to say this. I'm sorry for everything I did to you. I didn't appreciate you when I had you, and now I'm paying for it. I keep thinking about how different my life would be if I'd just stayed. Ryan was a disaster. He lied, cheated, and made me feel worthless. After him, I kept meeting the same kind of guys, all users, all fake. I finally get what you meant by peace. I miss that. I miss you. I'm not asking to get back together. I just need you to know that you were right about everything. And I'll probably never stop regretting what I did. I read it once, then again, and felt nothing. No anger, no nostalgia, no satisfaction. Just detachment. It wasn't a trap or manipulation this time. It was surrender. But even then, it didn't matter. Because her apology couldn't rewrite the person she'd been when it counted. Still, I decided to respond, not out of emotion, but out of finality. Me. I appreciate the message. I'm glad you're being honest now. But we're at 2 very different places in life. I don't hate you, and I don't wish you harm. But I don't carry what happened anymore. I learned what peace feels like, and I'm not willing to trade it for anything familiar, especially not the past. I hope you heal. Take care of yourself. She replied within minutes. Sophie, so that's really it? No chance. No coffee. Nothing. Me. There's nothing left to fix. We ended a long time ago. I just stopped pretending otherwise. Sophie, I don't know how to move on from you. Me. Then start by not looking backward. She didn't reply. And that was it. No dramatic outburst. No closure speech. No lingering pain. Just silence. A few weeks later, I heard she'd moved back to her hometown. New job, new apartment, same cycle starting again. Meanwhile, I'd moved into a new place, brighter, quieter, filled with things that were entirely mine. One night, I was out with friends when someone mentioned Sophie's name. They said she'd been posting vague, missed opportunities quotes online again. I just smiled and changed the subject. Because for the first time, I realized the story wasn't about her anymore. She was just the chapter that taught me the difference between being needed and being valued, between loving someone who drains you and loving yourself enough to walk away. Her space, had turned into emptiness. My silence had turned into freedom. And that was the truest revenge. Not bitterness, not triumph, just indifference. I didn't win. I simply stopped playing her game. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.